E here. And as always, NE stands for Nebraska. Go Big Red, yay Huskers! It's Tuesday, 27th of August. First football game is this Saturday. Lots of enthusiasm in Huskerville these days. Expectations are a lot higher than they have been in a long time. We'll see what Scott Frost and his coaching team and the team of players can do this year. We shall see. About 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'm headed out for a ride. I had my normal Tuesday morning coffee group, and then I got my old bike into the shop. I'm in process of selling it, and the other day I was working on it, taking off some GoPro RAM mounts on the handlebar, etc. And I'd ridden it around. I rode it out on the highway. It's been sitting for a while, so I checked the air pressure in the tires and brought them up to spec. And went to start it, and I was ready to put it back in the garage, and the starter just spun. Wasn't engaging with the flywheel or whatever part it's supposed to engage with. And the earliest the shop could get it was today. So that's unfortunate, because last Sunday was the plan today to hand it off to my brother-in-law, who's interested in buying it. I told him I'd let him try it for a couple weeks or so before he finalized that decision, just to make sure it's the kind of bike that he wanted. It's a 2007 Yamaha V-Star 1100, the Silverado trim edition, and it's got a Mustang seat added to it, Vance and Hines pipes added to it. I added some visibility lights up front and in the back. And I added one of those X-screen spoilers up front, because I'm a tall guy and the windshield wasn't quite tall enough for me. And those things are great because you can adjust them up and down, but you can also adjust the tilt, so you can really fine-tune into a flow that goes over or hits your top of your helmet, whatever you like it to do. And I guess if you're going at lower speeds for a long time, you could just put it down so you get more flow into the face. Anyway, enough about that. I've had it for 5 years. I got it when it had 13,000 miles on it. It's got 38,000 miles on it now, just over 38,000. So I put some miles on that there beast. My brother-in-law has been out of riding for over 20 years, I think maybe about 25 years. And he and my sister, his wife, took the basic riding skills course put on by the Motorcycle Safety Foundation here a few weeks ago. And he's anxious to get back in it. My sister hasn't quite made up her mind, at least the last I knew, as to whether she wanted to get a bike for herself and continue her learning. She's not interested in riding on the back of another bike, which I can fully understand. She said she had fun in the course. I think she's trying to weigh the risks involved about being out in traffic. So I know they've talked about one option of maybe buying a small 250cc bike and let her practice in parking lots, and they live in a small town in Nebraska where you know, a little care would keep her safe. But we'll see. I haven't heard if they've made a decision, and if they have, what that decision is. I told her I would support her no matter what direction she went, obviously. I'd never push someone into riding if they were concerned about their safety in doing so. Yeah, we've talked about ways to manage risk, and of course the Motorcycle Safety Foundation class talks about those things too. So a lot of risk can be mitigated quite a bit. It can never be eliminated. So we'll see. We shall see. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. It's about 76 degrees. August 27th and 76 degrees. You can tell it's pretty overcast right now, and it is nice and cool. I've got a short sleeve polo shirt on under my armored jacket, and my arms are nice and cool. I mean, not cool like in too cool, but I don't think I'm sweating all that much. Younger brother is up in Nova Scotia. I think he may have left Nova Scotia for New Brunswick yesterday, maybe today, on his way back to, going to take a few days to get back to Lorton, Virginia. Put his bike on the Amtrak auto train, which then disembarks in Sanford, Florida, 20 miles from Orlando. Cost him some money to ship it and get a sleeping berth, but saves him a bunch of time and energy trekking out of southern Florida. We were to have met in Lorton, Virginia, the 17th or 18th, and then right on up into New England and New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. He's been sending "wish you were here" pictures every day, and yes, the pictures make me wish I was there too. But I needed to make a better decision. My youngest daughter, who's been chronically ill for 19 years, had a situation develop just a week or so before my scheduled departure, and I mean, there's no second guessing or second thoughts in a situation like that. Your family, your kids are always more important than vicarious thrills of doing a motorcycle tour. There'll be other chances. Although it's at age 65, one can never be too sure how many more years one has. I do have a planned trip in September, heading up following the Missouri River north through South Dakota and ending in Bismarck, North Dakota. It'd be a tent camping trip, and from Bismarck I'd head over to what's called the North Unit of the Teddy Roosevelt National Park. There's a South Unit and a North Unit. The South Unit sits right next to the interstate that runs east and west through North Dakota. And the North Unit is, I don't know, a couple hours north of that. And from there I'll beat it over to Fargo, where I'll spend a couple nights, a weekend with cousins that I don't see very often. And then ride home. I haven't finalized my route home yet, but I have an uncle that lives in Sioux Falls, and if he is willing and able to get together for a meal, I would route myself through Sioux Falls. So tick off that box. Haven't seen him in quite a